My weakness is I am terrible with names, so please forgive me. I'm just going to say Shannon.
It's bad with names.
There you go then. So October Red Boxing, we are joined by the contender, Shannon O'Connell, for the Australian Showdown. Welcome to October Red Boxing.
Thanks for having me.
How have you found it so far here in the UK? I'm going to get into the details in a bit, but how have you found the reception so far? Have you been in the UK?
Yeah, so far it's been great. We got here a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and we based ourselves out of Manchester and trained at Ricky Hatton's gym. And like my manager was Kosciuszko in Team Kosciuszko, so he knew Ricky from when they fought, and my coach is good mates with Ricky, so we were welcomed there, and it's been great. We've been in Leeds for 2 nights, and everyone here's been great. Leeds is a beautiful city.
You will get used to the electric atmosphere for boxing in the UK. It's a pleasure to have you here. To be fair, this fight could have took place in Australia, but before we get back to that, talk to us a little bit. There's a few interviews that I've watched of yourself where you told me unfortunate circumstances that you've been through in your life. There's a lot more to boxing, and there's a lot more to that fighting spirit. So talk to me about that drive. Like you said, I think somebody said to you, you'll end up, and please forgive me, it's what you quoted, you will end up like your mother, and then you literally dug your heels in and went, forget that.
Yeah, look, my dad died when I was 2. My mum turned to... She became a heroin addict. I didn't have a great upbringing. And then when I turned at 17, 18, 19, I started going out partying, experimenting. And it took for one person who pretty much said she's going to turn out like her mother because I was partying. Not that my mum was partying, she was trying to hide her pain. I feel that there is a difference. But it sort of made me dig my heels in and I'm like, no, I'm not. And I started boxing.
So how was it then when you started boxing to kind of navigate that trauma, that pain into something to develop you into the person that you are today?
Hard work, everything, the pain of boxing, the pain of the training. I'm someone that pushes myself beyond my limits. If someone says to me, oh, you can't run 50 laps of those stairs, I'll run 51. It's just that obsession. And I guess in a way, my mum was a heroin addict. I have that same addictive personality, and it's to the pain of boxing. It's not just to boxing, it's to the pain. And a lot of people don't understand that, but to me, it's almost like a form of self-harm. I have to punish myself, and that's how I cope with things. I have come a long way with dealing with things. I'm good now, but I still have that drive and that push to do ridiculous things when I train.
I understand that totally, and I guess that's why you'll be good at what you do, because of that mentality that you've had to have, literally proving everybody wrong.
Absolutely. And sort of now, I guess it was about a year ago, someone said to me, stop trying to prove everyone wrong, you've done it. And I sort of went, you know what, I have. Now I'm doing this for me. And to prove, not to prove everyone wrong, but to prove to everyone that you can do it and you can change your life and you can break the cycle, which I have done for my kids.
There is no greater test than being a mom, because then you've got to know how to pay it forward, because they are now relying on you. So your heartache, your pain, your stresses, your traumas sort of have to be parked, because you've got to think about your children and what they see, and you don't want them to go through what you did.
Absolutely not. I mean, some of the things that I went through, I sort of sat back when my kids were at that age and I think, oh, wow, there's not a chance you could have lived through that. And I'm glad that I've not given them even the slightest bit of anything to do with what I lived through. But yeah, no, there's nothing that can motivate you more than your kids. People that don't have kids, they don't understand what love is until they've got kids. And so to be able to do that and motivate them, and even other kids that look up to me, this is what I'm here for. That means more to me than any part of the boxing.
We're going to push forward then. Talk to us a little bit about your career, because please forgive my ignorance and accept this as an apology. I didn't know who you were until obviously this fight was announced. So for our viewers then, let us know a little bit about your career, what you've done so far, how many fights, etc.
So I had 9 years in the amateurs. I was ranked number 2 in the world in the Olympic division before London, but I turned pro because they wanted me to move away, and I had at that point I had 2 kids, so they weren't paying very well back in the amateurs back that long ago. Nothing was funded, so I turned pro, and I've had 30 fights now in 10 years, nearly coming up 11. I've fought on some massive undercards. I've challenged for world titles that I probably never should have. Like, I've gone up. I've fought as heavy as super featherweight for a world title, and I mean, I'm definitely not a super featherweight. I've just always believed that you don't win a fight by not being in the ring. So I don't care. I've never cared who it was. I just get me in there. My way of thinking was no one can hurt me when I'm in there because I've been knocked out. But that doesn't hurt as much as what life's hurt me. So I still feel like even though I might not win every fight I'm in there, but I'm in there and I'm in control.
I kind of get that, and the more I speak to you, I kind of like understand why you say and why you do what you do. When obviously we've seen the to-in and throw-in with yourself and Ebony, it does come across, and you can tell me to F off if you want, because I'm open. I'm one of these that's going to be open and honest. It did come across as like the red eye, the envious eye, the way that you were going on about it. It looks like, I don't like the look of her. And that's it. You've just literally wrote her off. I mean, your words.
Look, I mean, there's definitely no jealousy there. If you could give me the opportunities that Ebony's had, and I wouldn't take them. I'd obviously take the fights, but I wouldn't take them for the reasons that she got there. I like the way I've done things. I like that I've done it the hard way, the long way. I know that, I have. This isn't my first world title fight, but this is in my natural weight division where I've earned my spot. I wasn't just given it the fight. I mean, they did everything they could to not have the fight. So I wasn't just handed the fight because I was an easy opponent. So, I wouldn't change anything about my journey, to be honest. I've dealt with the crappest of crap and the best of the best in boxing, and I appreciate all of it.
What is it then about Ebony that seems to really like grip you? I know you've mentioned the way she's gone about it, but she's got a world champion. She's a belt holder. You want to take that belt from her. She's come over to the UK. She's made a lot of changes, sacrifices. She's educated. Yes, she wears bikinis and she does bodybuilding poses on the podium. What is it about her that just kind of like gets under your skin?
Just really the way, I mean, nothing really got under my skin until this all started. Just the, talking yourself up and then avoiding the fight. And then they really did try and avoid this fight at all costs. They put in exemption requests. They paid big money to not fight me, let alone to get the fight here. So it's just, don't talk a big talk if you're not going to walk it. And that to me is what she did. So, obviously I don't like the lack of class and that side of things. Other people might see it differently. That's fine. That's my opinion. And everyone's allowed to have an opinion. But I don't like the way she's gone about it. I feel that, I came back from 20 years ago. People are looking at women's boxing and in Australia, I don't know what it was like around the world, but you go, women's boxing, jelly wrestling. And I feel like she's put it back there. Like people like myself and some of the other girls in Australia and around the world, people like Katie Taylor, we've busted our asses to create respect for the sport, and I feel like the things that she does, the boobs out at every chance she can, is just put it back to the women's boxing, jelly wrestling.
And that's it. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. To me, it's neither here nor there. It's brought a lot of eyes on the sport, good or bad, however you see it. She has promoted the boxing and brought more eyes on the sport. But we move forward to the fight. You have said that she's tough. You've never denied that. But you said you are the more skilled boxer. What can we expect from you on Saturday?
It's going to be an exciting fight, regardless of the outcome, regardless of who wins and how they win. It's going to be just excitement from the start. I'm the best. I'm the better skilled boxer. I believe that. I've had a lot more amateur experience. I've had a lot more boxing experience. Like, I've been boxing a long time. I've had 80 fights, but I do like to fight. So, I'm sure at times I'm going to stand there and we're going to trade, and it's going to be exciting. So, there's the real winners in this fight is really going to be the crowd. Like, they're going to love it.
And what do you see as Ebony's attributes? You said, you're the better boxer. What do you see as Ebony's attributes that you say you want to negate those to ensure that you win?
She brings pressure. She brings, people say she's got a big right hand, and
okay.
She's a fighter. she doesn't bring a whole lot of technical skill, but she's a fighter, and that can upset anyone.
So we can expect an exciting fight. You are predicting yourself winning. Of course you are. But does this go the distance, or are you looking to stop her?
Look, I think it's definitely, if there's a stoppage, I think it's in the later rounds. I think I'll wear her down, and I don't stop from the start to the finish. And I just don't think she's had, her fight with Shannon Courtney was full on the whole 10 rounds. But I believe I'm probably a bigger puncher than Shannon, and the more experience, and I don't believe that she'll be able to go with that for 10 rounds.
We like it. Thank you so much. Welcome to the UK. We are looking forward to an explosive fight, and thank you so much for taking the time to be a guest on October Red Boxing.
Thank you.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.